winners in the British Touring Car Championship, the British Rally Championship and Formula 3, as well as promoting the success of up-and-coming young drivers in Vauxhall Championships in both single-seater racing and in Rallycross. 1993 was without doubt a season of success for Vauxhall, supporting British motorsport with the widest-ranging programme of any motor manufacturer. Heading the field was a star driver lineup in Britain's most popular motor racing category, the British Touring Car Championship. The Flying Scotsman, John Cleland, touring car champion for Vauxhall with the Astra in '89 and 10 times a race winner in the 2-litre Cavalier GSI. From Surrey, Jeff Allam, a former winner of the Tourist Trophy at Silverstone and the Bathurst Classic in Australia. And David Leslie, upholding more Scottish honours with the factory-supported Écurie-Cos Cavalier team. The Cavaliers were right at the front from the opening round of the season at Silverstone, John Cleland hounding Steve Soper and Joachim Winkelhock to the checkered flag. Jeff Allam had the crowd on their feet with this titanic battle with Patrick Watts. It was Allam who eventually came out on top to claim 5th place. But the action on race day is only half the touring car battle. Under the skin, the 2-litre Vauxhall Cavaliers are finely tuned racing machines, requiring intensive testing and high-tech monitoring using both trackside and on-car computers to get the very best from the engine, the suspension and the tyres. It was testing of that nature that really began to pay off for David Leslie and the Écurie-Cos team on the second row of the starting grid for round 3 at Snetterton in Norfolk. But behind him, Jeff Allam's race quickly came to a spectacular end as he fell victim to the May bank holiday traffic. The red flags waved to stop the race, wrecked cars blocking the track. Fortunately, there was no one hurt. The replay showing that Allam was an innocent victim, hit from behind, then spinning into the path of 20 other cars. His escape is testimony to the strength of the battered Cavalier. Back on the track, and there are more fireworks. Neither John Cleland or David Leslie want to give way. Something had to give, and Cleland takes the cornfield at 100 miles an hour, but amazingly rejoins at the back of the field. After weaving to throw the dirt off his tyres, Cleland stages an unbelievable fight back. Team manager John Nixie can't believe his eyes as the Scotsman storms through the field to take 10th place. And it was John Cleland that made the tough, twisting Knockhill circuit in Scotland all his own. 20 years after first racing on the Fife track, he delighted the Scottish fans with a close-fought race and home win. Amazingly, it was the first time that John had ever tasted success on his home ground. David Leslie stole the glory on the fastest circuit in the championship at Thruxton in Hampshire. Over 120 miles an hour through Goodwood Corner, the Écurie-Cos Cavalier stormed into a lead that would be held to the checkered flag as his rivals struggled in his slipstream. Through the chicane for the final time, and a well-earned first touring car win for team manager Ray Mallock and his Écurie-Cos touring car team. The Vauxhall Cavaliers also proved one of the most successful cars amongst the private entrants. These included former Formula 1 BRM driver Ian Ashley and runner-up in the TOCA Privateers Cup Ian Khan. The finale of the touring car season was the Toker shootout at Donington Park. At the head of the field, David Leslie was fighting it out with Steve Soper and Paul Radicic for the lead. But behind them, things didn't go quite so well for Formula One and IndyCar champion Nigel Mansell. As Mansell headed for checkups in the local hospital, it was David Leslie and the Écurie Cos Vauxhall Cavalier who took the checkered flag and the shootout trophy in a fitting finale to an action-packed touring car season for Vauxhall Sport. Now the teams look ahead to 1994, with more technical innovations ensuring that John Cleland and Jeff Allam will again be at the head of the field when the season opens at Thruxton in April. But Vauxhall Sport's success in '93 wasn't just confined to the racetracks. David Llewellyn, co-driver Ian Grindrod and the Vauxhall Astra GSI proved their pace by winning the inaugural Formula 2 category of the Mobile Top Gear British Rally Championship. The season opened with 6th overall and a class win in the Vauxhall Rally of Wales, a home event for both the Ellesmere Port-built Astra and its Welsh driver. But the toughness of the series was demonstrated by the second round in Cumbria. Llewellyn, in trouble, limping through the stage to retire with transmission problems. But the event demonstrated the depth of Vauxhall Motorsport's involvement. North Yorkshire privateer Chris Burbeck took over the class lead from Llewellyn, driving his private Astra, and ensured Vauxhall's success. Round 3 of the championship, the Perth Scottish Rally, and the fast gravel stages were ideal for Llewellyn's class-leading Astra. But Llewellyn couldn't relax. He was under pressure from a hard-charging Chris Burbeck. But this time, it was the North Yorkshireman who hit trouble, damaging the car's suspension after a heavy landing. Despite frantic work by the service crew, the brave Burbeck was destined for retirement, leaving Llewellyn to dominate the Formula 2 category. The 2-litre front-wheel drive Astra not only won its class, but finished 4th overall, ahead of many of the 4-wheel drive turbo cars. Llewellyn's Scottish win was the first of a hat-trick that took the Astra to the inaugural British Formula 2 Championship title. On the slippery lanes of Northern Ireland, Llewellyn claimed class victory and 5th place overall on the Ulster Rally, while a perfect performance on the fast tarmac stages of the Isle of Man saw Llewellyn dancing on the pedals as he went on his winning way. Llewellyn, the showman, even finds time to wave to his Welsh fans. But the Vauxhall Rally team still faced their toughest challenge. The Network Q RAC Rally in November meant facing 1,500 miles across a Britain locked in an Arctic freeze. As world champion Juha Kankkunen headed the field off the starting ramp in Birmingham, the conditions looked tough, particularly for the 2-wheel drive cars. But on frozen tarmac and snow-covered forestry stages, Llewellyn amazed even the Finns, as the Astra stormed to 12th place overall and, of course, dominated its class. In Britain's premier single-seater motor racing category, the British Formula 3 Championship, Vauxhall combined its 2-litre 16-valve engine technology with the thoroughbred Italian Dallara chassis and one of Britain's brightest hopes for future Formula 1 stardom, Oliver Gavin. The result was a hat-trick of victories, with Gavin starting his run of success at Alton Park in Cheshire before leading the pack from start to finish at Silverstone. Success for Gavin and the Edenbridge Vauxhall team. While at Pembrey in Wales, Gavin proved his ability to stay calm under pressure. He kept ahead of championship leader Kelvin Burt for win number 3, and the Vauxhall team now had a chance of winning the title. Gavin's teammate Marcus Guerros was also proving the value of Vauxhall power, moving up to finish 4th. But it was Gavin who won the day. On to Silverstone and a straight head-to-head between Gavin and Burt. Both had to win to claim the title. Riding on board with Gavin, Burt's ahead, but the Vauxhall driver's on the attack. Disaster though, as Gavin's nose fin hits Burt's rear wheel and is damaged. Without the aerodynamic downforce from the front wing, the handling of Gavin's car is spoiled and he drops back through the field, forced to settle for the championship runner-up position. Marcus Guerros, though, took up the Vauxhall challenge and fought up to second before being pushed into a spin. But he'll be back in '94, leading the Edenbridge Vauxhall team. The British Formula Vauxhall Lotus Championship is now well established as the proving ground for drivers on their way up to Formula 3. Renamed Formula Vauxhall for '94. Racing in front of huge crowds as the support to touring car racing, drivers such as Scotland's Dario Franchitti proved that a cool head and a fast start is the best way to keep ahead of trouble, particularly on a circuit as tight and demanding as Brands Hatch. Franchitti will move up to Formula 3 in '94, following in the path of current Grand Prix drivers Mika Hakkinen, David Brabham and Rubens Barrichello, all of whom cut their teeth in the 2-litre, 160-mile-an-hour Vauxhall racing cars. Another young talent moving up to Formula 3 is the driver of the white car, Brazilian Luis Garcia Jr., seen here demonstrating his car control at a rain-soaked Brands Hatch. A protege of 3-time world champion Nelson Piquet, Louis will be driving the second of the Edenbridge Racing Dallara Vauxhalls in '94. But the winner, both at Brands Hatch and of the championship, was Dario Franchitti, a young Scotsman destined for a very bright future. The starting point for much of Britain's motor racing talent is Formula Vauxhall Junior, a professional yet affordable racing category powered by 125 horsepower Vauxhall Corsa GSI engines, enough to provide plenty of excitement. In 1993, the Norfolk teenager Ralph Furman Jr. dominated. He won 11 races out of 15 starts. His only real problem came mid-season when he broke his foot, not in a racing car, but falling off a bicycle. But with typical Furman form, he recovered fast, snatching victory at Thruxton from Darren Manning and winning the championship in real style. Ralph Furman, definitely a man to watch as he makes his Formula Vauxhall debut in 1994. Combining the sports of motor racing and rallying, the sport of Rallycross provides lots of incident, action and spectator appeal. Nowhere more so than in the 1993 Nova Rallycross Challenge for equally matched Vauxhall Nova GSI. The Flying Mick Bird eventually claimed the inaugural Vauxhall Exchange Unit's title, but it proved a tough fight along the way. And it wasn't just in the One Make Nova Challenge that the little 160 horsepower hatchbacks starred, as they proved capable of beating much more powerful opponents in the overall categories. So, a spectacular season of success for Vauxhall in 1993, leading the way in club motorsport, promoting new driving talent and winning at the very top. Here's to another year of Vauxhall Sports success in 1994.